serried knot of lines formed between her eyebrows. If I didn't push, she wouldn't talk to a single person outside of this house. She had nailed it. That was my exact plan for the 2 weeks they would be gone. Sometimes, Umma said, without changing her tone or missing a beat, people aren't worth talking to. Umma could stand up for me without sounding mean or angry. One of the many things I loved about her. Since Umma didn't drive, there would be no theater camp, no public speaking camp, and best of all, no improv camp. My next 2 weeks were completely planned out. I had an unread pile of books, playlists created, shows downloaded, videos that needed editing. My schedule was packed with nothing, exactly as I liked. Counting meals and bathroom breaks, and possibly combining both, I would only have to leave my room 3 times a day. The first 2 weeks of summer were going to be perfect. Mom threw the gifts on her bed. We visited India every year. Nothing went in after the bounce and zip. Plus, we're going to miss your talent show, Sammy. She gave the suitcase a final pat before assessing me, like she often did, with her head tilted, eyes squinted, lips pursed, like she was trying to figure me out. I wish our flight was a few hours later so we could watch your performance before we left. I know how much you kids have been practicing, and I'm so proud of you for taking part. I didn't have the heart to tell her I hadn't been to practice for over a week. Didn't know if they were practicing without me. Didn't want to be in the show at all. That's what happens when you're signed up for a talent show with your ex-best friend. 2. Halloween in June. Middle school was a crusher of dreams. I no longer had a best friend, and teachers assigned projects about dung beetles just in time to ruin weekends. And there was no recess, and my locker never opened on the first try. Not once. But middle school also made me dread the last day of school, the very day that used to be my favorite. Usually I looked forward to our last day rituals. Pancakes for breakfast, Mom and Dad's treasure hunt after school, and meatballs the size of my head at our favorite restaurant before everyone fell asleep on the couch watching a movie. Instead, I woke up on this last day of school with a stomach ache, and the sheets pretzeled at the foot of my bed. The worst part was knowing I had brought this misery on myself by saying yes when I should have said no. The sky slowly brightened, and the silhouette of the tree outside my window came into shape. Something wasn't right. I pushed the curtain aside with one foot, knocking over 2 of my birthday bears. What I saw changed my day, my summer, and if I was being dramatic, my whole life. I tried to jump out of bed to get a better look, but landed on my knees when my foot got caught in the twists of the blanket. Hanging from the branches of my favorite maple tree, covering the knot in the trunk where my toe fit perfectly, hiding the nook that curved for my back when I sat to read, were sheets and sheets of white. I ran out of my room and leaned over the railing to see pots boiling and bubbling with no one standing over them, the smell of coffee already filling the house. I jumped 2 stairs at a time to where Umma sat on the floor, legs tucked under her, wearing the white head covering and gown she pulled over her clothes to pray. Every time I needed an adult, they were praying. The faster I needed them to go, the slower they went. I hopped on one foot and the other, waiting not so patiently. She turned her head to her right shoulder, so I knew she was almost done. I barely let her turn to the left before pulling her to the front door. "What's wrong, Sammy?" she asked. "Imran is okay?"